Alright guys, another day and we are back for some more championship transfer rumours. Plenty to dive into today, and as always I want to get your thoughts on these in the comments down below. Any other rumours that you've seen going around the championship, make sure to let me know. And to go ahead and kick off the video, let's dive into a few done deals. Obviously, we knew Conor Hourihane was leaving Derby on a free transfer, and he has completed his move to Barnsley. I think this is a deal which works out for all parties, really. Hourihane will be rejoining Barnsley as a player coach. Reportedly turned down a big offer from Wrexham as well, which is quite interesting. Panama international Jose Cordoba has joined Norwich City, and the Canaries had to fend off quite a few other clubs to get this deal over the line, so very excited to see how he gets on in the championship. He's arriving from the Bulgarian top flight and will be in action this summer in the Copa America for Panama, so I'm sure every Norwich fan will be looking out for him in that tournament this summer. Rangers were being heavily linked with the move for the defender at one stage, but Norwich have managed to beat them to this deal, which I think is a real statement of intent. Looks like that natural Ben Gibson replacement that they were perhaps after. But those are some of the done deals which have gone through in the championship over these past couple of days. Now let's go ahead and jump into the transfer rumours. Another day goes by and yet another Premier League club is being linked with Crescencio Somerville. We've already reported on the likes of Crystal Palace, Chelsea and Liverpool being linked with the Leeds United winger, and it now appears as if Fulham are also in the race to sign him this summer as well, that according to Team Talk. It's no secret that Somerville does have a lot of suitors this summer, not just from the Premier League as well, but some clubs in Europe who have also expressed an interest in the Leeds United star. Of all the teams that have been linked so far, you'd imagine Fulham would be a little bit further down the pecking order, but if they were wanting to get the wheels in motion fairly swiftly, could potentially pip one or two of the big boys to this signature. Speaking of Leeds United and Fulham, Daniel Farke's side are said to be interested in Bobby De Cordova-Reid, and the situation surrounding him right now is fairly interesting. His current deal at Craven Cottage is set to expire this summer. Fulham have been in talks with the Jamaican international over a new deal, but as of recording, no deal has been struck, and there's every possibility that he will leave them on a free transfer this summer. Now, the 31-year-old is by no means a guaranteed starter at Fulham, but still a very useful player in the Premier League. He was in and out of that starting 11 last season, 17 starts in the Premier League and then 16 appearances off the bench. In that time, scored 6 goals and got 2 assists. If he is looking for a more permanent starting spot in a squad, maybe a drop down to the Championship could be on the cards to one of the top sides like Leeds United. Always a player that I have rated really quite highly from his Bristol City days. He had that one season in the Championship with Bristol City, didn't he, where he absolutely smashed it for them. Can play a variety of positions. I'm sure he's every manager's dream, having that versatility across the forward line. We'll have to wait and see over these next few days what movement we get on that story. Another story here regarding to Leeds United, it's Ilia Gruev, who is a player in high demand right now. Definitely one of Leeds' more probably underrated players from last season, you'd go ahead and say. Didn't always grab the headlines like maybe a Somerville or a Rutter would, but really played an integral role in that Leeds setup in the second half of last season. I thought his role acting as that defensive midfielder, which sort of allowed Ampadu to perform so well as a central defender, was really underrated, I thought. According to the latest reports, Borussia Dortmund are the latest club to register an interest in the Leeds holding midfielder, and what's really quite interesting is that Leeds have already knocked back an offer from a Premier League club. Reportedly, a Premier League club did come in and make an offer for Gruev before the Championship playoff final against Southampton. Now, he is under contract at Ellen Road until the summer of 2027, and so Leeds are in a decent position here to get a decent chunk of change for him if they were to cash in. Be interesting to see if we get any developments on that over these next few days. A bit of good news for Sheffield Wednesday fans. It seems as if Josh Windass is close to extending his contract at Hillsborough. Now, on the last video, we spoke about Windass and the links to Coventry City and Hull City. Also emerged that Birmingham have been in the market for Windass as well, but all the latest reports would indicate a new contract is soon to be agreed between Wednesday and Windass, which would see him staying at the club for the foreseeable future. Obviously ended last season in really good form played a key role in Wednesday's survival bid in the end, and I think this one would be a bit of good news for Wednesday if they do get that deal over the line. You don't want to be losing a player like Windass on a free transfer, do you? Now, it's no secret that Liverpool have been linked with Sunderland shot stopper Anthony Patterson, but according to the latest reports, it does seem more than likely that he will stay at the Stadium of Light this summer. Obviously, the picture can change if a lucrative bid is made or anything like that, but according to the latest reports from the Sunderland Echo, he's not expecting to leave the club this summer and won't actively push for an exit either. Now, it's quite well known that Liverpool are in the market for a new number 2 goalkeeper this summer, and if they're not going to go after Patterson, maybe a move for James Trafford could be on the cards instead. Now, on last time's video, we spoke about Burnley goalkeeper and his links to Bayern Munich of all clubs, but it's since been revealed that Liverpool are one of the sides who have made contact over a potential move for Trafford this summer. Despite the tough season he's just come off the back of, he's still quite highly regarded within the footballing world. Obviously made the initial Euro squad for England this summer before being one of the 7 players that was cut from it. Given all the clubs that have been linked, it seems more than likely that he probably will be off this summer and Burnley will be able to bank a decent chunk of change in the process. We all know that Ryan Giles spent the second half of last season on loan with Hull City, and involved in that deal was an obligation to buy from Hull's end, believed to be around about £4 million. However, it still seems as if some negotiations are taking place between Hull and Luton in regards to how that deal will actually work. And in the meantime, Middlesbrough are said to be keeping tabs on the whole situation. Obviously, Giles probably played some of the best football of his career while he was on loan at the Riverside. While Hull do have the obligation to buy him this summer, that's not gone through as of yet for whatever reason. If that deal was to collapse, it seems as if Middlesbrough would be ready to swoop in on the signing. Still seems more than likely that he will be playing next season at Hull, but like I say, that's not all over the line as of recording. Luton Town are reportedly keeping tabs on Blackburn winger Tyrese Dolan. The 22-year-old still got another year to run on his contract at Ewood Park. I also believe Blackburn have the option to extend that deal by a further year as well. Blackburn fans, how much would you rate Tyrese Dolan at in terms of a market value right now? He's always a player who seems to blow a little bit hot and cold, doesn't he? When he is fully on it, can be a difference maker at championship level. Did get 9 goal contributions last season with 5 goals and 4 assists. If he's able to add that bit more consistency to his game, then there's nothing stopping him from becoming a top championship attacker. Luton have reportedly been sniffing around in the past and seems as if they could rekindle their interest this summer as well. Pierre Duomo is another player that Luton are reportedly sniffing around, with the Antwerp midfielder reportedly available for around about €3 million this summer. Now, Luton aren't alone in their pursuit of the midfielder. I've also seen Leicester City being linked. There were also some clubs from around Europe that were interested back in January as well. Coventry have been linked with a move for Belgian forward Michy Natello. He's currently playing his football out in Bulgaria and is said to be available for around about £1 million. He's now 23 years old, still looks fairly raw, but definitely a player with potential that could be sculpted into something, especially for a top-level championship club like Coventry. Looks like a good runner with the ball, and like I say, definitely someone with a lot of potential. Marek Rodak is available on a free transfer this summer following his contract at Fulham expiring, and I'd imagine plenty of championship clubs will be interested in the former Fulham goalkeeper. Now, he's not played that much football over these last couple of years, just 11 appearances for Fulham over the last 2 full seasons, but whenever he's played at championship level, I've always been really quite impressed with him. He played a key role in Fulham's last 2 promotion seasons from the Championship, had some really good loan spells with Rotherham as well. Maybe putting 2 and 2 together here, but I know that Derby are after a new first choice goalkeeper this summer, and with Paul Warne already having that previously established relationship from Rodak from their time working together at Rotherham, maybe he's a player that Derby could target. But like I said before, I would imagine plenty of championship clubs would be interested. It's no secret that Hull defender Jacob Greaves has plenty of admirers coming into this summer. We've seen the likes of West Ham, Everton and even Burnley being linked with the Hull City defender. One of the best centre-halves, I thought, in the championship last season. Really strong commanding presence at the back and also decent on the ball as well. The good news for Hull is that he is under contract until 2026 with the option to extend that deal by a further year. The Hull owner has come out and said that if Greaves does have his heart set on the move to the Premier League and an acceptable offer is made, Hull won't stand in his way from going ahead and making that move. Cedric Kipre has been offered a contract extension by West Brom, but he's yet to put pen to paper. He is out of contract this summer, and the chances of him leaving the Hawthorns on a free transfer seem to be increasing, especially with how much interest there is in the Baggies defender from clubs across Europe. Now, Kipre was one of the best defenders probably in the Championship last season, integral role in the Baggies actually making the playoffs in the end. Trabzonspor in Turkey, the latest club I've seen linked with Kipre, and obviously they would be getting a bit of a bargain there, picking him up on a free transfer if he's not to extend that deal with West Brom. Seems as if some other clubs from around Europe are also keeping tabs on him as well. Potential replacement for West Brom in that defensive position could be Eric Smith, the St. Pauli defender, who West Brom have been linked to of late, but they do face some competition in landing this deal, as Leeds United are also said to be sniffing around him. Interesting one I saw from the other day, Plymouth being linked with a move for Jordan Hugill. Now, the Rotherham forward, you'd imagine would be among the Millers' top earners, and them dropping down to League One. You can understand why maybe they'd look to ease that burden on their wage bill by potentially offloading him, and Plymouth have seemingly thrown their hat in the ring. Honestly, I still think Hugill can do a job at Championship level. He's never going to be the most prolific of strikers, but I think he's the sort of man that maybe Plymouth lacked at times last season, as that sort of real physical presence up front. Scored 5 goals and got 1 assist for Rotherham last season, but I think he brings a little bit more to the game than goals, doesn't he? Have to admit, always got a bit of a soft spot for Jordan Hugill from his days at North End. But if the money was right as a backup option, I don't think that would be an awful deal for Plymouth. But guys, there you have it. That will now wrap it up for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, if you've seen anything else going on around the Championship, make sure to drop it in the comments down below. But apart from that, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.